Welcome, everyone. I am Lyria Charles, CEO of Peak Performance Business Owners. And we've been doing this series this last few days of how small businesses can survive and thrive during a crisis. And I am so pleased to have as our guest today, Avis Yates Rivers. Avis is CEO of Technology Concepts Group International, with operations both here in the US and international. I've known Avis for a long time, and I can tell you, she is the consummate entrepreneur, business owner, and leader. She also leads the charge for getting more girls and women involved in STEM careers, and she's the author of a best-selling book, Necessary Inclusion. So I hope you all grab that book after the call today. I believe it is available on Amazon. Is that right, Avis?
Absolutely. It's
right.
also available on avisyatesrivers.com.
And we're going to come back and revisit that at the end of our session today.
Okay.
So today I've asked Avis if she would just give us a little bit of insight into how this epidemic has affected her business, her customers, some of the adjustments that her company is going through right now, and what she's learned from this experience and is still learning, I'm sure, that might be helpful to you folks on the call today. So before we get started, I hear people chiming in. I just wanted to let everyone know that I have everyone on mute just so we can keep the background noise to a minimum. If you have a question or a comment for Avis, please just use the chat box and we'll try to get it answered before we end the session today. So with that, Avis, we're going to turn it over to you. I have several questions lined up that I'm curious about.
Okay.
And before we do that, though, could you tell us a little bit about Technology Concepts Group?
Absolutely, Lyria. Thank you so much for inviting me to join you today. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to be in your company. And I have to tell you that Technology Concepts Group International was blessed by your service for many years and continues to be. And so if there are any small businesses on the line today, you could do worse than engage in Lyria Charles and her expertise and her company. So with that said, TCGI is an asset, expense, and procurement management firm. So what that means is we help large corporations, government agencies, organizations to really improve how they spend their millions of dollars in annual budget, right? Whether it's technology, or whether it's marketing, or whether it's facilities, there is actual portions of that spend, which is what we call unmanaged, where people are just going out. There's no competitiveness associated with it. Someone knows someone and they're going to go out to them and give them a contract. And when you multiply that by tens of thousands of contracts and suppliers, that's a big number that companies are not managing and they're not leveraging their big buying power to get best pricing. And so we have a procurement practice that we provide analytics, we provide insights, we provide streamlining and optimization, and we also provide the actual management of some of those transactions, right? And about a year or so ago, I acquired another company. And it is a value-added reseller. So instead of just managing the transactions of technology procurement, we also now provide state-of-the-art technology solutions to our customers as well.
Right. And I did see something from you recently that during the situation that the world is in right now, I would imagine that that's really important.
It is. Everyone working from home, you have to ensure that employees who are not set up to work from home can get the technology they need. Also, for security purposes, you want to ensure that there's a virtual private network, or what we call a VPN connections, or if they're utilizing cloud technology, for example, Office 365, that they have the necessary tools that they need to carry out their responsibilities. It's funny because, my EA called me yesterday and said, are we considered essential business? Because I'm still coming to this office.
Yes, you are. Absolutely, you are.
Get I'm like, yeah, I think we're essential in my head. Anyway, we are essential. This country cannot operate without us.
Especially now.
Especially now, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to talk about, what's happening and what we can do about it. We can't change what's happening.
Yeah.
But there are things that we can do to get better positioned to
Yeah.
adjust to what's happening.
So let's talk about that change, both from your perspective for your business in particular, and how you see it also impacting your customer base.
So my customer base is predominantly large corporations, think Fortune 100. So the largest of the large corporations, but we also support now with the acquisition, we support middle market companies, think utilities, hospitals, large healthcare networks, state government agencies. So they're not the Fortune 100, but they're still critical in their market segment. And of course, everyone is scrambling, trying to make sure that their team members are safe first and foremost, and equipped to do their job. Yeah. But there are a lot of companies who lack the expertise and lack the technology underpinnings or infrastructure, as we call it, to continue to operate. And then there are a lot of brick and mortar companies and retail companies and gig economy workers who don't work for a company, but rather work for themselves. These people are all being impacted because everything rolls downhill, right?
Yes.
Wall Street has taken a tumble. Large corporations are just trying to figure out what they can do to preserve their reserves, their wealth, their revenue. And so this has been a state of, just kind of settling in. No one's really writing any deals. The contracts that we were supposed to start March 1st, needless to say, did not start. So it's impacting us. But at the same time, there are needs that are being generated that we weren't anticipating that we can support. So yes, we're being impacted by our customers, but that just helps us to figure out where we can be of service. Right? It might not be the traditional line of business that we do. It may be other things. So it's critical for us as a team to always be looking forward, right? Not getting so head up about, oh my goodness, what is happening? What is going to happen to our business? Rather, where are the opportunities that exist within this strange time? Because like any major disaster, companies are not going to be worrying about RFPs and competitive pricing. You got it, I want it. And so we're doing some of that. Our marketing department is doing more email marketing campaigns, and we're getting a better response than under normal circumstances because we're saying we can help you with this, and they're saying I have a need of this, and just we've got meetings scheduled this week, and just outright I need these things, can you get them for me? And so the trick is to understand what you can do, but definitely do something new, right? Don't just stick to what you've been doing, but how can you help in this situation?
Right. Yeah. And and I've been saying the same thing to the folks that I coach and manage some of their businesses. It's like, you got to start thinking outside the proverbial box right now. Things may never go back to the way they were.
That's right. And then what do you do?
And then when you get, and it's going to be those people who can be agile and pivot. But if you stay, like I say, if you stay stuck on stupid, you're not going to survive this.
That's right. And unfortunately, a lot of companies will not survive. They will not. They will not be able to survive 2, 3, 6, 9 months of being out of business. I'm thinking specifically about the smaller brick and mortar businesses.
Yes.
If they're not there, they cannot engage their team members to come in or customers to come in. I was supposed to get a pedicure last week. I'm not going to get a pedicure.
Right.
I just, when we're social distancing,
yeah,
those personal services, I also canceled the massage last week. The personal services has to be canceled.
yeah,
But what does that mean for those business owners and those employees who work to deliver those personal services?
yeah,
Those are the ones that are heavy in my heart right now.
yeah.
I'm wondering, how can I support them, even though I can't support them with my normal business? Yeah.
Sure. And it's really going to be a stretch for them to start thinking about things like, for example, my lady who does the color for my hair, she let us all know, hey, I can't put myself or you at risk with this.
That's right.
So if
That's
you want to do your own color kits, put your orders in right now and I'll ship them to you.
And that's very ingenious, right?
Right.
You have to do your own color. And Lyria, I always thought that was your natural color. So don't reveal everything to the public.
Oh, okay. I won't tell them. It's the gray.
But yeah, I mean, that's ingenious. Craft yourself a kit and begin to reach out to your customers to say, hey, you can't come in, but this is what we can do. It's time for your service.
Right.
I can virtually walk you through it. Case in point, this is a great time for a detox, right? Uh-huh. So the trainer in New Jersey, who I've often gotten my juices from, is doing a 3-day boot camp virtually, right? Whereas normally she would take us to the mountains or something. She's doing her boot camp and her virtual detox like this via Zoom. So she's shipping me all of the juices that I need for the next 3 to 4 days.
Right.
And we're going to be doing virtual workouts 3 times a day via Zoom.
There you go.
Isn't that ingenious?
Right, right.
And we all need to think about things like that. So she's making money in this period of social distancing. Yeah.
Sure. And Avis, I'd like to talk about the internal aspect of your company. And I know you're virtual a lot because you travel a lot, number one, and I know you're not traveling right now. But I know that you've got people international even. So I know some of this is not new for you, but for people who this might be new for, this whole virtual working thing, what advice can you give people to stay connected, especially from a senior leadership perspective, which you are? How do you keep your people grounded? And you still got to run the business, right? And we all have families that we're worried about. Some of our families may even be impacted with the virus.
That's right.
How are you guys coping on a more personal, internal level?
Yeah, I think from a leadership perspective, Lyria, it's important that you devise what your operating tenets are, right? The soul of your organization. And for me, as you know, it has always been my people, my team, my extended family. And so first and foremost, it's just touching base with all of them individually, in small groups, in team meetings, and making sure that they are safe and that they remain safe, and that let them know what we are practicing right now with this self-quarantining. Thankfully, I live in a community that we're not so confined to the house, right? I can still play golf. I can still go on my bike rides and my walks around the lake. And so keeping people, staying attached to people, not just your own team members, but their families.
Sure.
And secondly, reaching out to the community. We're not gathering as a church body, right? Church family right now, but I'm still reaching out and being reached out to from different members of the church, both here in South Carolina as well as in New Jersey. Just checking in on people, seeing how they're doing. So let's think about ourselves as a leader in our community. So it extends beyond just our family, our friends, and our employees and their families.
Really good.
And then sharing with them what you would like for them to do. As a leader, as you said, you have to think outside the box. But they all play different roles. So how in your role can you adjust and recommend things that we could be doing now that is new, novel, innovative, and
Sure.
helpful. And
Right.
so my marketing VP came up with an email campaign, which went out on Monday,
Uh-huh.
as I told you, just offering our assistance in getting, critical technology
Right.
into their hands right now. And we've had a tremendous response
That's
from that,
wonderful.
uh,
Yeah.
from that email. Unfortunately, some of these items are in such high demand.
Yeah.
Their availability is 6 to 8 weeks out.
Wow.
What good is that, right? People
Yeah.
need to work
Well,
now.
you're
So,
absolutely right, but 6 to 8 weeks from now, we might be still in the same position,
oh,
so
yes, yes. So you
yeah.
better order them now if you need them.
Right.
And then you also want to think of, as I mentioned before, and spread this throughout your organization. I don't care if
Mhm.
it's one person, I don't care if it's just you
Uh-huh.
or two or three others, but what can we be doing differently?
Okay.
We have to up business. This is our new normal for right now and
Yeah.
for the unforeseeable future. What can we do to ensure the long-term viability of the company, right?
Right.
If we're so dependent upon that next check coming in tomorrow, it hinders us, or it straps our creativity. It
Yes.
saps it. So
Yes.
we should always be taking the long view. Okay, this may last for 12 months. Who knows?
We don't know.
We don't know. So what can we do to make sure that we can last for
Yeah.
the next 12 months?
Right.
I don't know if you haven't looked at the stimulus bill that was passed in
Mhm.
the Senate today. Take a hard look at that
Mhm.
and look at all the resources now that are being made available
Right.
for individuals, for families, and for small businesses and distressed businesses,
Yes.
right?
We're being
Yes,
proactive.
yeah, be proactive. There's money available. $2 trillion has been earmarked for stimulus package for businesses and individuals in America.
Okay.
So you may not feel that you need a loan or you want to take a loan, but a zero interest loan, oh yeah, we're going to apply for that.
Yes.
We are going to apply for that.
Mhm.
Um, the individual stimulus of $1,200 per individual, or 24, that's for families making 75K or less, or all y'all off that table, or or couples making 150K or less. But
Uh-huh.
still, you've got friends, you've got family members, you've got church members, you've got community members who can certainly avail themselves
Sure.
of that. And what about the amount of money so that's $250 billion that's going to go to individuals and families, and another
Mhm.
250 billion that's going to go to small business in
Mhm.
the form of zero interest loans.
Mhm.
And so let's take a look and be proactive.
Right.
Get out there. It's all online. You can find out what the bill, the pillars of the bill is. I took a look at it today,
Yes.
and there's things that we all can go after. So let's do that.
Right, because
Let's
these
do
are
that.
these are unusual times,
Exactly.
and we've got to
And
do
you may
some
not need the
unusual
money
things.
now, but again, if you have to exist for the next 12 months
Yeah, you
with
got to think
business
about it now.
being unusual, get the money.
That's right.
It's a
That's
zero interest. Yeah.
that's right.
Hmm.
Well, Avis, we're just about out of time, but before
No
we
way.
yeah,
How did
can you
that go
believe it?
so
Yes.
fast?
Yeah, I know it went by so fast.
It
It's
did.
been a delight to have you as always. You are so
Thank
full
you.
of wisdom,
Thank
and
you.
I know that people who watch this in the future are going to continue to get ideas and inspiration from it.
Yeah.
But before we let you go,
Yes,
how
ma'am.
how can people find you if they want to do a consultation with you or they need some products right now? How do they reach
Hmm. Well, I'm easy to find as an author and a thought leader in this space. Avis Yates Rivers is my full name. I have a website with that same name, avisyatesrivers.com. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Did I leave something? LinkedIn.
LinkedIn? Yeah.
So easy to find. And my email address is avis@avisyatesrivers.com.
Easy enough. Avis at avisyatesrivers.com.
That's right.
All right, Avis. I
Easy.
can't thank you enough for being here. You look
My
marvelous,
pleasure.
lady.
Thank you. I'm loving it.
We've learned so much.
Loving
The
it.
sun is treating you well there. Be well and be
Thank
safe.
you. Thank you. Thanks, Lyria.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.